What's up guys, on this episode of Pistonhead Garage, I started installing my new front mount intercooler. Welcome to another episode of Pistonhead Garage. I'm Garrett, and on part 5 of my Skyline build, I'm installing a new front mount on my car. This new front mount will keep the air coming into the engine cool so I can support more boost and therefore more power. This is going to be a pretty straightforward install, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Let's just get straight into it. So the first thing I did was remove the front rebar. This kit came with some instructions on how to install this on an R34 Skyline, so I just used the measurements they provided as a basic guideline as to where I wanted to cut my lower rebar to fit the intercooler. Then I just used my 3-inch cutoff wheel to cut out the section I marked earlier. I'm not going to be doing any cleanup in this video after the cut. Normally what you want to do is file down the edges where you cut and then paint the rebar just to make sure it doesn't rust. Next, I put the rebar back on the car and then test fit the intercooler, lining up where I want the tabs to mount to the rebar. Once I decided on where I wanted the holes, I just drilled them out. And of course, once I had my holes drilled, I loosely hung the intercooler from the rebar and then fully reattached the rebar to the car before lining up the lower mounting brackets. Once all the support structures have been bolted back into place, I then tightened all the intercooler mounting bolts down. And the last part of this process is to mount the bumper back on and make sure everything clears, and of course, because this kit was made for the car, everything fits perfectly. Well guys, that's it for part 5 of the build. I can't show you any of the plumbing of the actual intercooler for the intake side or for the turbo side because I don't have the engine completely situated in the car yet. So once we get the engine settled down properly, then I'll go into that and we'll see how I plumb it all in. But in the meantime, make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to us on YouTube. As always, I'm Garrett and I'll see you next time on Pistonhead Garage.